Merhaba arkadaşlar. Oynar başlıkta Alan Wake'in Amerikan kabuslarına hoş geldiniz. Şu anda kanalımızda devam etmekte olan tek korku oyunu. Bunu sağdan sola... Hayır. Sağdan sola soldan sağa nasıl geçiriyorduk ya? Şu anda Alan ekranın sağında kaldı. Daha önce solunda değil miydi? Sağda mıydı bu adam hep? Heh. Taba basıncaymış. Ne yapıyorduk? Aküyü bul. Akü nerede? Orada. Araba nerede? Para nerede? Makineli tüfekle bunu değiştirsek mi ya? Yok. Bu hafif makineli denilen, tek elle kullanılan, SMG de denilen silahlar şey oluyorlar. Çok sayıda mermi atıyor ama çok az hasar veriyor o mermiler. O yüzden bizim muhatabımız olan amcalara karşı çok etkili olacağını zannetmiyorum. Buradaki televizyonda izlemiştik son bölüm. Böyle devam edeceğiz bakalım. İn oradan Alan Wake. Aferin sana. Not bulduk. Ha, not değil miymiş o? Pompalı tüfek mermisiymiş. He. Not sandım bir an. Tabelaymış ya. O ne diyorum. Şuradakini. Havada duran Smiley'ye benzettim. Ha, burada bir soru işareti var. Onu almam lazım. Geldim. Evet, işte not. Taslak. Kaba taslak. Şimdi tünele mi girmem lazım acaba, yoksa kontrol noktasına ulaşıldı. Evet, tünele girmem lazım.
Well, this should be perfectly safe.
Güvenli mi? Hı. Alan Wake oyununda güvenli bir yer yoktur. Yarasa kanat çırpışı sesi mi o ses? Taşlar dökülüyor, bir şeyler kanat çırpıyor. O ne be? Kurbağa mı o? Kurbağa mıydı o? Aküyü al. Aküyü de çok güzel yere koymuşlar. Oo, hayır. Hayır. Örümceklerle muhatap olmuyoruz. Ne yapmıyoruz? Muhatap olmuyoruz. İlla olacaksın diyor. Tamam. Bu örümcekler şeyden korkuyor mu? Alevden. Ha, korkmuyorlar. Neden korkmuyorlar? Gelmeyin lan. Tamam, kurtulduk. Şimdi götüreceğiz. Çok zil. Kolay oldu. Örümcekleri pek ciddiye almadık. Hala mı geliyorlar onlar? Oo. Işık tutarak bile öldürebiliyoruz. Aslında çok zayıflar örümcekler ama. Bir dakika. Neredeydi bizim aldığımız? Geldim.
Found the battery.
Okay, I'll charge it. Here. Try not to get killed.
Okay. I'm gonna take care of this. Try to stay calm.
Gayet sakin
What if I
zaten
just-
bence.
What if you stay here with me, please?
I'm sorry.
Sen
but
benimle
if I
gel
don't
esas.
deal with this, no one else will.
Yeah, I guess. It's just that this is getting really creepy. I believe this is real, but I don't understand any of it. I'm getting scared. I can't believe you're so calm.
I get scared, but I've had a lot of time
Ben
to
de.
get used to it. That helps. The guy who looks like me is the reason this is happening. I caught up with him, but he swept me back here.
Back in time.
Yeah, it's a trap. We'll be doing this forever unless I can break out of it.
How are you gonna do that?
I'm working on it. I came prepared, but things got kind of scrambled when I arrived. I'm tracking down the things I need.
Yeah, well, feel free to climb back into your DeLorean or whatever it is you do.
Tamam ablacığım, görüşürüz. Hadi kal sağlıcakla. Şimdi nereye gidiyoruz? Buraya gidiyoruz. Ya burada bir soru işareti var. Şu buranın içinde. Bunun içine niye giremiyoruz ya? Buranın anahtarını verecekler bence daha sonra bize. Şu anda yok. Ha, oralarda bir numaralar var. Ve biz oraya gidiyoruz. Şşş. Huhu, çok güzel. Pompalı tüfeğim zaten vardı ama neyse. Bu ne? Taslak sayfası. Güzel. 53'te 22. Yarıyı geçtik. Buralara bu kadar tüp koyduklarına göre buralar şenlenecek demektir. Yine mi kargalar?
Here we go again. Better get ready to run.
Tekerlek yerindeydi. Petrol akıyordu. Akü takılmıştı. Işık yanıyordu. CD çalardı. CD çalıyordu. Bunu sırayla mı yapacağız acaba? Tekerlek yerindeydi. Petrol akıyordu. Tamam. Neyin tekerleği yerindeydi? Tekerlek? Tekerlekten kastı ne ki? Tamam, radyoyu da açalım. Radyo neredeydi? Döndede döndede döndede. Dandada dan. Tekerlek. Allah Allah. Sahneyi taslak sayfasıyla eşleştir diyor ama. Ha, vanayı yerleştir, petrol akışını başlat. Oldu galiba. Müzik inşallah telife takılmaz. Çünkü çok bilinen bir müzik, bir şarkı. Uyduyu mu düşürdük şu anda? Ne yaptık? Kafamıza düşecek bir uydu daha geliyor. Daha önce de bir tane düşürmüştüm. Evet, güzel. Tamam. Gayet güzel. Kısa kesin, müzik telife takılacak. Yapmayayım bunu. Aa, kaçıyorum. Demek ki koşacağım. Oh. Ya Alan koş. Durdu yerinde. Koşmuyor. Heh, şimdi. Basıyorum ileriye ama koşmuyorum. Oo. Çok güzel vurdunuz. Tebrik ediyorum.
Be in trouble. Better hurry.
Nereye gideceğim? Ha. Atlattım galiba. Evet. Bu daha önce düşen uydu mu yoksa şimdi mi düştü? Emma'ya dön. Emma. Allah.
I knew something bad was gonna happen to me.
This is not the bad thing. Nothing.
Oo, çok güzel öldüm. Tak tak tak. 3 kere vurdular. Oo. Öldünüz mü? Yapacak bir şey yoktu. Mecburen. Emma.
I knew something bad was gonna happen to me.
Lan dur bir dur.
Not the bad thing.
E hadi ama orta tuşa basıp duruyorum. Bir saattir. Alamadı. Huf.
Emma,
I knew something bad was gonna happen to me.
this is not the bad thing.
Hadi ama.
Nothing.
Huf. Oh. Lan dur bir dur.
Just keep your head down.
Patla. Ne yapmam lazım? Uf.
It's okay. It's safe now.
Gerildim yala.
I got a really bad feeling about all of this.
I'm gonna need those keys to the diner now. There's a motel key there that I have to get.
Oh, hey, you don't have to do that. I have the motel master key. I work for the same company, you know. What's at the motel?
Well, there's a dead guy. He's got something I need to get into the Mount Redtooth Observatory.
Kızıl dişli.
God, that's awful. Hey, you wanted to know about the guy who looked like you, didn't you?
The last time you said he had a party, but you didn't go.
No, that's not true. I did go. It was really great at first, and then I didn't see it myself, but I hear he turned nasty. He hurt a bunch of guys pretty bad, and there was this girl, she died. But I didn't hear about that until afterwards. I thought that he was so charming.
And then he went to the diner.
That's right. I wasn't involved with that at all. I don't know what happened.
Fine. I need to check out these motel rooms. In the meantime, you stay here, okay? I'm serious. Keep the lights on and stay here.
Yeah, okay. You got it. I sure hope you're right about
Burada
this.
kal. Buradan bir yere ayrılma zaten.
You're gonna stay here this time, right?
Because the last time I didn't, and that thing, whatever it is, happened to me.
Yeah. I don't want you to get hurt again.
Don't worry, I'm gonna stay
Burada
put.
kalması gerekiyor.
I don't remember what happened exactly, but I learned my
Aslında
lesson.
araba çalışsa
It doesn't
buradan
have to
ayrılsak,
happen exactly the same way
bu
this time
ablayı da
around.
alsak.
You proved
Kaçsak
that much when you
buralarda.
went out and got those things for me. I think you're gonna be okay.
Let's hope you're right.
Sen yine orada çalışıyormuş gibi yap ablacığım. Hep aynı şeyi yapıyorsun. 3 tane nokta.
This wasn't supposed to happen again.
Ne oluyor?
Fate haunts Emma Sloan and fills her with dread. This time, she does as she's told. It's not enough to save her.
Kaptılar kızı ya. Güzelim kız gitti ya. Yazık oldu. Neyse. Bir yerlerde oyunu kaydedeyim diyorum ama ışık yok.
Okay, people, it's Eddie Rodman here with a few hours to kill, and there's nobody I'd rather spend them with. Nobody else in the whole world. Oh boy, that'll land me in hot water when I get back home, won't it? Well, just in case my wife is listening, and you always are, aren't you, baby? Let me tell you, you are the exception, honey, and the prettiest lady I ever saw to boot. But I'd really like to spend some quality time with you listeners, because, well, tonight's one of those nights. You're sitting in the studio and you kind of forget how long it's been or what day it is. You just sit here and go through the motions. You might as well have been here forever. Keep talking, but you don't even know what you're saying.
Evet.
It's like you're
Bir anlamı da yok konuştuklarının, o yüzden. Daha fazla dinlemeyeyim dedim. Ha. Biz bu görevleri daha önce
It's
yapmadık
said
mı?
that nobody knows what the future might bring, but for this man, it's no longer entirely true. A weaker man might simply give up, but the champion of light is an expert on destiny.
Ha.
Sometimes
Zamanda
the
bizi
puppet
geriye
that
gönderdiği
puppets
için
here can be
tekrar
one
yapıyoruz
and the same.
aynı görevleri. Deja vu oldu çünkü.
Mount Redtooth, its top littered with man-made eyes that stare into the endless depths of space. Tonight, the champion of light will depend on them to pick out a message from the ether.
Hatta geçen sefer de böyle oldu. 3 tane şey vardı.
As history repeats itself, the man remembers the patterns. He knows that he needs the missing part for the
3
telescope.
tane yıldız vardı. İkisine baktık. Bir tanesi kalmıştı. Geldim. Hop. Hiç ateş etmeden kaçtım. Yalnız şeyim bitti. O işaret fişeğim bitti. Hadi burada da kaydet. Not. Pompalı tüfek mermimiz var mı? Var. Burada işaret fişeği var mıdır? Vardır. Güzel.
I should find the camera before I talk to her.
Örümcekler vardı. Oo. Acık canımız acıdı ama ne yapalım. Oo. 24. 55'te 24. Güzel. Yani bunu da mı alabiliyoruz yoksa onun yerine onu alıyoruz. Hayır. Pompalıdan şaşmam. Oo 25. 53'te 25. Güzel. Not buldum. Bunları okuyacağız. Teleskoba geri döneceğiz şimdi. Tabi geri dönerken gene bizi öcüler kovalayacak doğal olarak. Gel. Hop kaçtım. Tamam. Kaçtım. Hadi görüşürüz. Uhu. İşte bu kadar.
I know what you're thinking. Evil twin, supernatural powers. But most of the time, I just like to keep things basic. I want you to understand that.
Yine kimi öldüreceksin?
Like this. Need to get your hands dirty? No batteries, no moving parts, just physics. That's technology you can depend on. It's a classic.
Baltayı
Speaking
alacak.
of classics, You need to be careful with this one, though. If the victim suddenly twists, you might end up cutting yourself. It's not really a workhorse, but I'm a sucker for this style.
Ekrana bak, ekrana sağa sola bakma.
Now this is more like it. You've got slip-resistant grip. Believe me, you really want that traction once you're wrist deep in somebody. The blade's stiff enough so it won't open by accident in your pocket, but it's still really easy to open with just one hand. Now that's a big thing for me. I know what you're thinking. It's too big, too heavy. But sometimes you just need the extra oomph. If you're talking intimidation, this is gonna do the job. Also good for dismemberings and whatnot. You know, the messy jobs. I can't tell you how many things I've MacGyvered with this stuff.
MacGyver mı dedi?
Okay, now guns. Not a big fan. I mean, how are you supposed to really connect with somebody with a bullet?
MacGyver tabi çoğunuz bilmiyorsunuzdur da eski bir
I
diziydi.
want you to understand that.
Richard Dean Anderson oynardı
I take
MacGyver'ı.
pride in what I
Yanında her
do.
zaman bant
We
taşırdı.
can't both be
Paket
worthless
bandı.
hacks, can we?
Paket bandı, ip, çakı ve onlarla
You'll
hayat
have to
kurtarırdı.
forgive me, but this feels very strange. It seems like this has all happened before.
I have the replacement part for your telescope, Doctor.
All right. Let's get it installed.
Teleskobu tamir et. Evet ya, yine niye aynı şeyler oluyor? Bu mudur ya?
I think we can give this a go. Although I have this strange feeling that something will
Don't
go
start
wrong.
it up yet. There's a problem with the coolant system.
Yes, that's right. I remember. All right, let me think. If they're sabotaging it, they'll be at the primary coolant pipe outside. If you can secure it, we should be ready.
Hay Allah'ım, yine dışarı çıkacağız.
That is why you're here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'll take care of it.
Before you go, if you have the time, I'd appreciate if you came up here and explained a few things. All of this is very strange to me.
Nerede? Burada. Orada bir yerde herhalde. Lan nereye girdim? Hemen gelin zaten, hemen. Hemen hiç kusur kalmayın. O neydi be? Gel lan. Var mı daha gelen? Yok. Burada bir taslak sayfası görünüyor. Çok güzel. Buldum.
These beams hate the light, am I correct? You should be able to turn on the lights and secure the area that way.
Tamam yaktım açtım. Başarım kazandık.
All right. I'll start looking for the signal. Please head back.
Kalaydım. Oo. Kafamıza araba yağıyor. Harika.
I guess they didn't like that.
Bana yol açtı. Buradan gel diyor. Okey. Huhu. Gel gönder. Heh. Ben niye buraya girdim ki? Gönder.
Shit. Wrong way.
Yo, doğru yol. Bak ne güzel. Not bulduk. Lan. Lan oğlum kaydedeceğim. Ha gelin ha. Oo. Ya. Bulduğum notları buldum mu kabul ediyor acaba? Buldum kabul etmiyormuş. Hadi. Uf. Bir not daha bulduk. Cenk tüfeği. Cenk tüfeğini açamadık. Cephanem az kaldı. Şurada var. Line. Hop. Girdim. Ama sanki girmemem mi gerekiyor? Yo, bu bence içeride yukarıya gösteriyor yıldız. Yani üst kat. Zaten Doktor Middown'a geri dön diyor.
It's working. Please, come up here.
Geldim zaten. Uhu, evet asansör çalışıyor. Şuradan cephanelerimizi fullleyelim. Doktor.
You find the signal?
Yes, I don't think it's quite the same thing
Hep aynı
we
şekilde
had,
duruyor.
the last time. Still, we're definitely picking it up.
Are we getting the complete signal now?
I'm afraid not. Take a look at it yourself. I'm printing out a hard copy now. I'd like to ask you a question or two before that, though, if you don't mind.
What's on your mind, Doctor?
Most people would find these events extremely disturbing, provided that they survive these creatures, that is. You seem to be quite adept at dealing with the situation. Why is that?
Yes, I was involved in... It's a complex story. I was in this small town, and a horrible thing from another dimension kidnapped my wife and manipulated me into writing this horror story that came true. I learned to fight it with light, and I managed to contain it and free my wife. But I was trapped in its world.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. So, I'm used to reality working in strange or even impossible ways. And I fought these things, not exactly like this, but close enough for a good while now. Of course, I have certain advantages. Was there anything else?
What did you mean when you said you have advantages?
At the risk of sounding like a lunatic, reality is much more fluid than people think. It can be influenced.
I didn't take you for a mystic.
I'm not. I'm a writer. And under certain conditions, I can, for lack of a better word, rewrite reality. Change things.
That's absurd.
But it works.
Assuming I believe this, why don't you simply, I don't know, write yourself some superpowers?
It's not quite that simple. You need to follow certain laws of drama, I suppose. You need to think about consistency and symbolism. Often what you write isn't anywhere near as important as what you imply. There are things out there that will take advantage of your mistakes.
You really believe in this?
Don't look at me like that. You've experienced some of this yourself.
Başka konuşması seçeneği yok ki yani onu niye öyle E'ye bas diye adım adım ilerletmişler konuşmayı.
With your writing is ridiculous. You're essentially saying you're controlling my actions. Leaving aside the rational arguments against this, what gives you the right?
Well, it's more like having a destiny. A path you're on. You're not aware of it, but there it is. If somebody changes it, what difference does it make? It's what every writer does. If you write something that affects one of the characters, they don't really know about that.
I'm not a character. Are you saying that it's all right to take advantage of someone if they aren't aware of it?
Look, all I meant was that if you're genuinely making all your own decisions, and those decisions lead to whatever destiny you have, what practical difference does it make?
I suppose that depends on whether our
Yazarın
destinies are determined by
kabusu
things like
hakikaten.
physics and probabilities, or natural reality, which is presumably neutral and impartial, or by some kind of an intelligence. If it's the latter, that intelligence makes choices based on some criteria. If we suffer as a result of those choices, there's a moral and ethical element involved, regardless of whether we're aware of its manipulations. Wouldn't you agree?
You're taking this very well. I thought you'd be hangry.
I suppose I would be if I thought you could actually do this.
Doktor. İnmiyor mu bu aşağı? Neyi al? Ha, bu...
Another
ha
printout.
doğru.
Another signal fragment. The message is still not complete, but it's another piece of the weapon he has built against his adversary. Mere words on a piece of paper, but in the right hands, they will hold back the darkness.
Yine arabaya bindirdi bizi. Açık hava tiyatrosu.
The last time the man came to the drive-in, it did not end well. He hopes to avoid that fate this time. He hopes that what he has brought with him to this place is enough.
Şimdi bulduğumuz notları okuyalım.
My
Bir sürü
writer's
not
block
bulduk.
got worse. I didn't sleep much anymore. My life with Alice seemed like a constant fight. I was a wreck. Alice took steps. She booked a vacation in Bright Falls, a small town in Washington. It was supposed to be a chance to break out of the cycle I was in. She didn't know about the darkness in Cauldron Lake.
Alice.
My wife. The best thing that ever happened to me. She smiles and the darkness lifts. For her, I've tried things I otherwise never would. I've never really minded if it's made me feel like a fool. She's a photographer, and the world she sees through her lenses is unique and beautiful. She has the vision. She sees things others don't and knows how to make them visible to everybody. She did it with me, too. She teased out things I was only vaguely... It's been 2 years since I came here. Being that long without Alice breaks my heart, and I know it broke hers. I know she thinks I'm dead. How could I blame her for that? It would be a crime to pretend that she owes me anything. She took all the stupid, self-indulgent bullshit I brought into her life and still stood by me. Still loved.
Oh, burada bulduk.
As a storyteller,
Daha
my
önce
first
bulduğumuz
real
notlarmış
novel was
onlar.
crime.
Okumamışız
And
demek
it
ki.
was in that genre that I finished my first novel, starring the perpetually miserable Alex Casey, whose entire life was a wound that never healed. The books sold as fast as they hit the
Alex
shelves.
Casey.
I wrote 5 more Alex Casey.
Alan Wake'in ana
The
karakteri demek
pressure
ki.
of success got to
Yazdı.
me. My wife Alice was the sole thing in my life that anchored me. Suddenly it wasn't enough. I couldn't write anymore. I distracted myself with wild parties and whatever trouble I could scare up. I wallowed in the drama of my life, sure that Alice...
Bunları hiç okumamış mıyız hakikaten ya? Allah Allah.
I've seen the enemy.
Ara verdim geldim.
I faced dark horrors
Okunmuşları da
before,
okunmamış
things that
olarak
live
mı
in the
işaretledi acaba?
unimaginable pressures of the world beyond our own. Sometimes they masquerade as humans. That's what ultimately
Bir daha
lurks inside
okuruz.
Mr. Scrooge. He's every mean-spirited tabloid story about me, an evil caricature, a creature formed in that vague territory of misconceptions.
Karanlık yanım Cauldron
I've carried a
gölüyle
flashlight and a
canlandı
gun for
diyor.
so long that I feel naked without either. It's all too often that I need them. The darkness protects the taken. Shadows crawl over their forms like living things, protecting them from harm. Blows that would injure or kill a human outright mean nothing to them as long as the darkness persists. But light makes them... The spiders
Örümcekler.
aren't really the work of the enemy. They're a side effect. A part of the dark place's less significant fauna that has
Hayvan
managed to
formunda bir
slip through the
fikir.
opening I made when I arrived. Less an animal than an idea that has assumed the form of an animal. Makes them no less dangerous.
Karanlıkta
But at least they're a little
karanlıkla
easier to deal with.
korunmuyorlar.
The darkness doesn't protect them like the taken, and thus they can be destroyed by either light or bullets right away.
Işıkla da yok olabiliyorlarmış. İyi güzel. Ha zaten
The
ışık
atmosphere in the
tuttuk yok
projection
ettik
booth
değil mi?
at the
İki
drive-in
tanesine.
was
Doğru.
charged, almost unreal. Despite that, the air felt cool and refreshing this late
Karanlıkla
at night.
korunmuyorlarsa ışığın da
It's
yok
been a hot
etmemesi
day.
lazım aslında
The
mantıken.
summer was nearing its end, but it wasn't over yet.
Evet.
The darkness rose from the depths of Cauldron Lake and took Alice. It needed words. It needed me to write its way into our world. She was leverage, a hostage. I complied, but with a twist. I put in a loophole that gave me a chance to fight back. I was hunted by shadowy enemies, but I faced the darkness. I fought it with light. I drove it back. I saved Alice, but it came with a cost.
Ana oyunda Alice'i kurtardık
After my
ama
disappearance,
biz
they thought I was dead.
bu dünyaya
I might
sıkıştık,
as
buraya
well admit.
geldik.
I know it's been 2 years. I know Alice has moved on. I've tried to find a way back to her, back to my life, but
Şimdi
escaping
kendi
the dark
dünyamıza
place
geri
is
dönmeye
almost
çalışıyoruz
impossible.
tabii.
Time does strange things here, but dreams and radio signals can pierce the veil between the worlds. I catch glimpses in...
Mücadele ettiğimiz şey de karanlık. İlginç.
Stories come naturally to us. We can't help it. There are many different worlds, many competing realities within our heads, fueled by books, television, even barely remembered childhood tales. There's an endless supply of fictional concepts more familiar to us than anything or anyone real. There are places where our world is worn thin, and another reality brushes against ours. One such site is Cauldron Lake near Bright Falls, Washington. But there are others. That other reality is dark, vast, and malleable, always in flux. In its depths dwell vast forces and alien energies. They're dangerous. But the Taken may well be the tool the darkness favors over any other. At some point, they used to be human, but whatever humanity they once had is long gone. Now they're just shells covered and filled by darkness. The Taken Mr. throws at me are more grotesque and varied than the ones I first encountered in Bright Falls. But I know how to deal with them. I'd be lying if I said they... When Dr. Rachel Meadows got the call from Michael, telling her to hurry to the observatory, she didn't waste any time. It had been a nice party. She'd had a good time, but her social life would always play second fiddle to the mysteries of space. Michael never showed up, of course. He pulled over at the wrong rest stop. She never even thought. The film noir poster reminded me of Alex Casey, the detective's cool exterior never cracking even with the gun pointed in his face. In the...
3 tanesi kalmış. Buradakileri okumuşuz sadece
I
demek
don't
ki daha
make
önce.
friends easily. I know plenty of people, but I don't let most of them close. I've known Barry Wheeler ever since we were little boys. We had the time of our lives. I'd get us in trouble, and he'd talk us out of it. Things haven't changed that much now that we're grown-ups. He's the most loyal and dependable person I've ever met, and all the things that count anyway. You could... Night Springs doesn't exist. It's a fictional town from the TV show I used to work on. It was Any Place USA, a place we used as a backdrop for whatever strange story we had that week. One of the stories I wrote for the show involved a man, the champion of light, fighting his evil double, the herald of darkness. It was something I'd written back in the real world.
Galiba bu
Now Night
şu anda
Springs is in
yaşadığımız olaya
Arizona.
benzer bir de hikaye
Although
yazmış
not for
Alan
long.
Wake.
It's in
Korku
Arizona
hikayesi.
because whatever the town that has
Night
become Night
Springs'te
Springs
geçen.
is really called is located near one of the thin, worn places in the world where dreams and reality flow together and life is always a little strange. Perfect analogy for Night Springs. I can't return to the real world. I've tried, but I'm operating on dream logic, forcing the door open a crack so I can slip through. In Bright
İlginç.
Falls, I was constantly under attack by birds that were more shadow than flesh and feathers. But this is
Evet.
an evolution.
Yine
Some of the
düşmanlarımız.
Taken were actually capable of
Gölgelerden
turning into
oluşan
a flock
kuşlar.
of birds to
Ya da
escape my
kuşlardan oluşan
attacks and
gölgeler.
turning back into human form to make
Bunu biliyoruz. Başka yok. Bütün notlarımızı da okuduk. Şimdi bu tiyatro denilen bölgeye gireceğiz ama bunu önümüzdeki bölüm yapacağız. Oyunun bitmesine kaç bölüm kaldı bilmiyorum ama çok fazla kaldığını düşünmüyorum. Bakalım nasıl bir final olacak. Bir sonraki bölüm